morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays and Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're viewing us live here in Port Scarborough, Tobago. I'm Dwayne Nurse and you're viewing us here live. This morning we're going to continue the conversation surrounding PAN band leaders in that regard, surrounding Carnival. And to have that this morning, we're going to have a virtual discussion with none other than Miss Amelia Guillaume. She is the manager of All Boys Steel Orchestra. Good morning, Miss Guillaume.
Good morning, Dwayne.
It's
Thank
such a
you for
pleasure to
having
meet
me,
you.
and I hope you're okay.
Yes, the
Nice
pleasure is
meeting you
all
too.
mine. You know, it's post Carnival, and I'm certain that you have a lot to share with us this morning, regarding your experience with Pan and Carnival. Into the nitty-gritties of the interview, just tell us about yourself and what you're here about.
Okay, well, again, as you would have rightfully said, my name is Amelia Guillaume. I am the manager of the All Boys Steel Orchestra. We are located at the corner of 4th and Cook Street, Scarborough, Tobago. And we're just going to discuss PAN, the Steel Orchestra. As you would have said, you'd like to know how the season went and what we did for Carnival. So I'll allow you to lead the discussion this
Right,
morning and I'll try my best to facilitate.
certainly. What got you into Pan, and especially at this managerial supervisory stage?
Um, PAN has always been something that I was passionate about as a child. My brother, he would have been involved in PAN. He would have been playing with our boys as well. And I am the last of five kids. My sisters would have been involved in music, playing piano, but I was never interested in that. I always liked the PAN. Back in the days, you may or may not know, during the commercial breaks, TTT, they would bring on the PAN and they would show past panorama performances, and I would always be there dancing. And when it was my turn to do music, I opted to go to play pan. And I've never regretted because it was something that I felt passionate about from a tender age. And so I actually started maybe at the age of 10 or 11.
Hmm.
And then I didn't start. The first time I played a pan was at Our Boys, but the first pan side I joined was a side called Pan Fanatics. They were just getting started. My sister and I were there, and then eventually, we moved. Transitioned into Our Boys because it was close to home and it was where our brother once played, and it was just natural to start playing with Our Boys. And as I say, the rest is history. I've been doing it since then, and as I said, I don't regret falling into pan.
All right, that's quite great. Um, the, you guys would have participated in the Pan Champs in Trinidad. Just tell us about that and what like in terms of preparation and so on.
Okay, so Our Boys is a small conventional band. As you know, there are categories. There is the single pan, which used to be the pan rongi neck, small, medium, and large. We are a small band. We have a maximum of we are allowed to participate with the players. So we would have had a successful season where we would have qualified for the final, which would have taken place on January 12th at Skinner Park. We would have placed ninth in that. But I must say that preparations for a steel orchestra, any steel orchestra, for any competition, or just maintaining a steel orchestra through the year is quite tiring. It's quite costly. It requires a level of dedication, commitment, and hard work. There's so many things to get ready. As you see us there in those bright yellow stands have to be painted, pans have to be tuned. There's a cost to tuning pans, there's a cost to painting. You have to get uniforms because when you get to the final, you want to look your best on the stage. It's tiresome, but that's where we rely on the players to come with their passion and commitment. For us, we would have started preparing for 2024 Panorama in August. We would have ventured into this season with a new arranger, Mr. Marlon White. It was the first time the band worked with him, and we did have a successful season. So we started in August, and ironically, August was Pan month. So, it was a good time to start to get acquainted with the arranger and start learning our song for the 2024 Panorama season. So it's a lot of hard work, a lot of intricate details. You have to have a strong, tight committee to ensure that what has to happen happens.
All right. And you mentioned that, it's quite expensive and there's a cost behind the preparation. And my question to you is, do you believe that one Tobago fan bands, given the support that is required for them to compete at the national stage and locally, do you think that PAN is given the attention that in Tobago that it ought to be given so that we could place, as we have been seeing about the place recently, as high as those renowned PAN bands in Trinidad?
Tobago gets support, but I believe a lot more can be done. Um, as you said, let's look at Trinidad and let us look at the outpouring of support that comes when there is a pan show, there is a festival. Let us look at Pan and Powder, which takes place during Pan month in August. It's usually held maybe about the 23rd or so of August, but that happens in the middle of the week on a Wednesday. And there's a parade that takes place from Lower Port of Spain up to the Savannah. And people come out in their thousands and they chip alongside bands. You know, persons come from Tobago and go to Trinidad to take part in this. It is evident that Pan is it's our national instrument and people are passionate about it. It's pride when you look at it. And I believe that in Tobago, we need to capitalize on this. We have thriving bands in Tobago. We are well represented in all the competitions from single pan to medium and large. And as you know, we have bands qualifying and making waves in all categories. So what I will implore is that we tap into it. We do a little more. Encourage persons to get involved. Encourage stakeholders to get in, sponsor some bands with Pantry and Bago, partner with community leaders to get more support in PAN because it is our national instrument. It's so much. There's so much that can be done. When you look at pan concerts, pan shows, there's no violence. There's just people coming out in droves just to enjoy, just to rhyme, just to take in the music and enjoy the performances. So I will really encourage and ask the general public, to come out and support. Whenever you see pan sites having shows, orchestras having shows, whenever you see the region advertising shows, just come out in your numbers and support. If there's a cover charge, please, by all means, support because it's something that we need to capitalize on in Tobago here, and we can do so much. Let's not wait for it to happen on this style only. We can do it here for ourselves.
All right. I have two final questions to you. And the first is, you mentioned that you guys placed ninth in Trinidad, correct? And
Correct.
that's quite
It was
notable.
actually a three-way
Congratulations
tie.
to you guys. And
Thank
my
you.
question now is, you guys had a band um, in Tobago's Carnival. Just tell us about that.
Yes, we were on the road at the Color Hall Juve, and we were also on the streets of Scarborough yesterday evening with the Happy Law Sailors. Why Color Hall? Because it is home, simply because it is home. As I said, the band is located on the corner of Fort and Kirk Street, and if our village is having a Juve, by all means, we should be there. The festival in Tobago was scaled down this year, but if you are having Carnival or some fraction of Carnival, then we have players who are excited to play. We have persons
Tobago.
who love Tobago, and you know
And
we took it upon ourselves to say, okay, let's come out and support. Let's be on the road. And I must say, yesterday evening on the streets of Scarborough, the reception was very good. We stopped at Market Square and we played there for a couple of minutes. And I looked out and we saw children jumping. We saw persons really enjoying it. So it was very heartwarming to see that, persons did appreciate seeing a steel band on the road yesterday evening and being part of the Juve yesterday morning.
all right, and congrats again. continue doing the good work. I mean, I had one more question, but unfortunately, time is upon us. I want to thank Miss Guillaume for gracing us with her presence this morning and sharing with us about All Boys Pan Steel Orchestra. I want to thank you very much.
Oh boy,
And
Steve Orchestra,
guys, this
yes.
brings us to the interview this morning. And this brings us to the end of Tobago Updates, Youth Wednesday on the Tobago Updates morning show. We want to go over to Tobago Notes and Good Morning Tobago with Candice Jackson. Remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. Have a great day.